Hey guys, welcome to today's tutorial. I'm going to show you how to make passwordless logins with NextJS. TLDR, let's start building. Now the first step we're going to need to take is to create a Next app. Let's go ahead and do that. Name our app Next Passwordless. The default. Now let's go into that folder. So the next thing that we'll need to do is to update our index.js page. Let's go ahead and actually see first what it looks like. When you go to localhost 3000, this is what you should see. Let's delete everything here and replace it with this code right here. Let's see the update. Now what we need to do is to show the register or login form. And now how we could do that is to actually first install the dependencies needed. I'll go ahead and install Cotter. After that's done, let's go ahead and add a div to contain our form. And now what we should do is to import and initialize Cotter. What we need to do next is to actually initialize and show the form using this function called useEffect. Let's copy and paste this code right here. Now we need to copy and paste our API ID. Once we do that, form will magically appear. Now what we need to do next is to actually check for the access token by reading the log. Let's go and try entering my email. And now I'll be asked to enter a unique 6-digit code. Let's go ahead and inspect the element. There we go. Now, since we want to use the access token in this tutorial, let's go ahead and grab that and store it in local storage. We can do so by copy pasting this code right here. Let's go ahead and replace the alert success with the code right here. Now, what we need to do next is to actually define the function set as logged in. We can do so by copy pasting the code here and also the code here. Now the next thing that we want to do is to check if the local storage contains the access token. Every time the page loads, and we would love to update our isLoggedIn variable if that's the case. Now to do that, we could add the code below to the function useEffect. Now, let's try and show the user if he or she is logged in using this paragraph. Alright, let's go ahead and refresh, and we can see here that the user is not logged in. Now let's go ahead and add a logout function, and we could do so by removing the access token from the local storage. Now what we need to do is to actually just copy paste this code right here and paste it just before the return. Now what we're going to need to do is to actually show the logout button. Copy paste the code right here and paste it just beneath the "you are logged in" text. When we hit refresh, it should show just right about here. Now since now it says that I am logged in, if I press logout, I'm supposed to be logged out since my access token would be deleted from the local storage. There we go. Works. Now what we want to do next is to actually try the public and private endpoints and see if a logged in user can access the private endpoint. Now let's go ahead and do that by actually adding the files public.js and private.js. So we copy and paste this code. And now we should have those two files called private.js and public.js. Now let's go ahead to public.js and copy paste this code right here. And let's continue with copy pasting this code over to private.js. Now let's go ahead and continue with the to-do here, import Cotter. And then let's go ahead and validate the access token using the code right here. Let's go back to index.js and add the code right here and paste it just before return. And now what we should do is to call those two functions from our buttons by copy pasting the code here and replacing the grid right here. And Once we hit refresh, it should be good. Then if we click on public endpoint, we should be able to access it. Now what we can do is to test out both the public and the private endpoints. If a user is not logged in, he or she should be able to access the public endpoint. Once I click it, it says here success. You can see this resource without logging in. And if he or she wants to access private endpoint, we should deny. Try logging in and access the private endpoint. Public is accessible, private is also accessible. Now, that's it for your tutorial. Thank you.